When you look at head coach Kevin Stefanski, what are the qualities that you see in him that you see in most good NFL coaches?
I think the most remarkable thing was how they won that playoff game without him and also without Bill Callahan. And if I remember, one or two other assistants weren't there too. Because no, it isn't job number one, but it's certainly among his top 10 jobs for a coach is how do you handle your assistants? Are they ready to go? So that you could do the big picture stuff. And another thing to keep in mind, remember, and I was very concerned about him calling plays, being a rookie head coach. Um, there were very few problems with that either. They had that figured out and how to do it with Alex Van Pelt. Alex Van Pelt called the plays in the championship game yes, basically we called it the championship game, the first round of the playoffs with Pittsburgh. And if you remember, Stefanski was in his basement. So there you go. That was one. It showed that he got things organized and organized quickly. He doesn't seem to, when they've had the two big blowouts early in the year, one to Pittsburgh and one to Baltimore, they came back and won the next week. He didn't seem to panic on that. He was able to convince Baker Mayfield that, you can't just fire the ball over the place. That was the one thing, the system, if you want to call it, is that said, don't throw the ball to the other team. Now, this may sound kind of obvious, but Baker kind of be the gunslinger. And if I throw a couple interceptions, we're fine. But that does not play well with Stefanski. And he was able to get Baker to buy into that too.
Yeah, how impressed were you? Your first game as a head coach, Kevin Stefanski, they get blown out by the Ravens, and they come back and play pretty well in winning week 2. That was at that point in time. I was like, you might be onto something here.
Well, to me, you lose your first one where you're embarrassed in Baltimore. You won your next 4. You could not have scripted a better thing to happen to Stefanski after that opening game, because you're 4-1 now. You won a couple close games. There is a feeling of, okay, we're past the same old Browns. They didn't look as disorganized as Freddie Kitchen. There was a sense too that, Kevin knows what he's doing, and that he had prepared himself for this job for a long time. Now, he did take over a team with a fair amount of talent. He really did. Nonetheless, as we saw the year before with Freddie Kitchens, and we've seen here with others, you can mess it up. Instead, what he was able to do is lift it up. I mean, that's a key part of coaching. Do you mess up your talent, or do you lift up your talent? How do you get along with your assistants? He was able, think about this, to hire a really good coaching staff quickly, bring them into here, which is hard to do because a lot of assistants don't want to come here because they figure they're going to be here a year or two. And then when you go home and you talk to your family, oh, we're going to go to Cleveland. They go, oh, well, that would be good. One day, 1 week, 1 year, how long? We got kids for school, all that stuff. And then it turned out that the staff he had, they made no significant changes on it. Now, is it possible maybe some of these guys will go elsewhere? A big thing they did within 36 hours of Bill Callahan being let go as the interim coach in Washington, they were all over that guy to bring him in to be a mentor to Stefanski. They put his office next to Stefanski, and I heard they paid him a ton of money to come in here and be not only the offensive line guru, but to be the older hand to help Stefanski during this time. But nonetheless, a young coach has to be willing to listen to him, and obviously he does.